Splash Mountain at the Disneyland Resort has had its fair share of problematic issues during the ride's nearly 25 years of operation. And no, we're not just talking about the ride's controversial history, being themed after arguably Disney's most offensive film, Song of the South, but the fact that the ride has many broken effects. Certainly not nearly as many as Indiana Jones' Adventure, although when placing animatronics near and in water, there's bound to be some issues. With an unknown closing date coming real soon, let's go over what's currently broken and what Disneyland could have fixed, but probably won't bother until the ride gets rethemed to Princess and the Frog. The Splash Mountain queue line sets the mood of the ride, just like any of Disney's other attractions. There's minor bits of theming here and there, but nothing over the top or anything too exciting. Thus, there's nothing worth fixing in this part of the attraction. Onto the actual ride, the water wheel doesn't seem to spin anymore. Obviously, the wheel needs water for it to turn, and that likely won't be restored for a long while until Tiana's Bayou Adventure is complete. The ride lacks the certain charm without the water wheel in action, and overall makes the attraction as a whole feel more broken and nearing the end of its service life. In the same general area of the ride, many Disney park goers have noticed a missing effect while watching the ride run in action. As the logs shoot down from the final plunge, water normally splashes up from the Briar patch, sometimes soaking guests into passing logs, although recently there's been no water found since around 2022. Without this effect in action, the logs seem to be falling into an endless pit, or practically anything aside from water. Moving through the attraction and into the indoor showrooms, very rarely you'll find 3 possums, a bird, and Briar Rabbit on a handcar, all working at the same time. Well, now you don't need to worry about them all working, as all 3 of the possums have currently been removed from the attraction as a whole. Not to mention, the bird sits still, and Briar Rabbit has been left in the dark, still pumping his handcar to the best of his abilities. There also seems to have been fog in these scenes when the ride opened, but I can't find a whole lot of information to back that one up, aside from a quick promo video of the ride. Just a scene later, Briar Rabbit doesn't seem to move up and down in his bush anymore, and just stays put in place. He's certainly still laughing, but not nearly as much for the laughing place, where our next stop on the list is of broken effects. Right while entering, notice that all the beehives don't have their bees spinning around them. This scene goes by so fast it's barely noticeable anyhow, although it does look weird seeing the 10 yellow dots not moving one bit. Just a few seconds later, you'll encounter Briar Bear, who now seems to be a figure frozen in time. The way he used to move is kinda crazy for a figure of his size, although over the years, the mechanics that used to move the figure have probably weakened, as a result being placed in the water. Speaking of that, all the crazy pretty water effects don't work anymore. Notice poles that used to spray water from the top now only sit staying dry. Although like the bees, this is hardly noticeable, but I'm guessing Disney just gave up on them a few months back. Directly across from that scene is another animatronic that often gets overlooked, and you could call this the most unknown character throughout the ride layout, as it's tucked in a little crevice that's rather big, although attention is geared towards the water effects that we were just talking about. This dog hasn't spun for quite a while now, and it just sits in the dark, sad, secluded, and alone. And next to that, where you'll normally find 2 of the America's Scene's birds, you'll now only find 1, and based on Disneyland's schedule, I bet we've seen the last of him. This is a rather sad remark, as the animatronics has been around forever, although he may always make a surprise return in the future. From there on, you'll go up the final lift and take the astonishing plunge into the Briar patch, where you're met with some discolored rocks that don't exactly look like the rest of the bunch. Normally, there's a running waterfall streaming down this location, although recently it's been turned off, like lots of Splash Mountain's other effects. And now, while nearing the completion of the ride, you may notice Briar Bear doesn't try to wiggle out of the hole he's stuck in, probably because he knows he isn't going anywhere, and same for the crocodile in the water, biting Briar Fox's tail. It also seems to have given up, knowing it will only be forever chewing his tail and not eating it. With Splash Mountain being one of Disneyland's most popular rides, it's certainly sad to see the attraction bite the dust, even though Disney will most likely do an excellent job with Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and look forward to the new and improved content coming to Front Row Coasters, and I'll see you in the front row.